Torah Guardian, speaking the absolute truth. Torah Nation.
Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Yasharal and Yahudah. Listen, it's the Shabbat, and you know we the people of the book broadcast has to go down. Yeah, we got obligation. We got to declare Yahuwah's word on the Shabbat to all those who have an ear to hear. Listen, it is about Yahuwah's witness. It's about understanding that there is Yeshua and no other name than that name, Yah salvation, Yahushua Ha'Mashiach. Listen, we're listening to none other than Hezekiah on this Shabbat. I love this ox. This song is entitled All I Need. Listen, all I need is Yahuwah. All I need is Yahushua Ha'Mashiach. It's off the CD Salvation. None other than Hezekiah. Listen, I don't own the rights to this music. Yahuwah is all I need. Listen, Yahushua is all I need. I appreciate Pesach. I appreciate the shadow. But listen, Yahushua Ha'Mashiach, the renewed, established covenant. Listen, that's all I need. In the name of Yahushua Ha'Mashiach, the witness. Hallelujah. That's all I need. He's giving me the Ruach HaKodesh. He's giving me what I need to get the job done. In the erects to be the witness that he has called me to be. Listen, he's all I need. He is all I need. He is all I need. Hallelujah. He is all I need. Man of Yah, woman of Yah, I pray that in the name of Yahushua Ha'Mashiach, you would receive the witness. Yahuah, I pray that you would take the reins of my lips and the reins of my tongue and reign, that you would minister to those who have an ear to hear, that they would receive your word on this Shabbat. Yahuah, in the name of Yahushua Ha'Mashiach, I pray that they would receive the witness of Yahushua Ha'Mashiach, be established in the blood, in the water, in the Ruach HaKodesh. No one be caused to stumble, no one to come up lame, no one to be turned out of the way. Yahuwah, you're all we need. You're all we need. Yahuwah, I thank you for this Yeshua that you've brought to the nation of Yasharal, Yaakov, your firstborn. Yahuwah, how you have given us this Ruach, renewed, established covenant. Yahuwah, I praise you for what you're doing, having received the Gentiles, those who received the witness of Yahushua Ha'Mashiach. I give you praise, Yahuwah. Yahuwah, let the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable in thy sight. Take the reins of my lips, the reins of my tongue, and reign. Yahuwah, do what you do, because you are all I need to get this job done. The words of my mouth, the meditation of my heart be acceptable in thy sight. Yahuwah, my strength and my redeemer. Listen, man of Yah, listen, woman of Yahuwah, called to greatness, beautifully and wonderfully made. All we need is the witness of Yahushua Ha'Mashiach. He is Yah salvation. No other name given unto men whereby they must be saved. I love me some Hezekiah. Listen, I love this ox. He come in with the traditional choir approach to that song. I love it. I don't own the rights to his music. Listen, man of Yah, woman of Yah, we going in. We finishing up Romans, the book of Romans, and we're ending in the 16th chapter. And again, I don't expect this to be a long Shabbat service. You know, some of us are in Pesach right now and in unleavened bread, and we give glory to Yahuwah, and we support our brothers in Emunah and their dedication to Pesach and Shavuot. And we just worship Yahuwah in this time, and we magnify his name. And we are looking to Yahushua Ha'Mashiach. We have fixed our Pesach, on the acknowledgement, the recognition of Yahusha, the Lamb of Yahuah, that has taken away the sins of the world. We are past Mitzrayim. Don't get me wrong now. Mitzrayim was important, right? Mitzrayim was important. Mitzrayim in us, in heritage, is important, right? But it pointed to Yahushua Ha'Mashiach. And don't get it twisted. It pointed to the Lamb of Yahuah that was slain from the foundation of the earth, who's recorded in the volume of the book. It pointed to his Yeshua, right? It pointed to the renewed covenant. It pointed to the eating of his body, right? The unleavened bread and the drinking of his cup, the wine, the blood, the fruit of the grape, the blood of the grape. Listen, this all is the fulfillment in Yahushua Ha'Mashiach, the establishment of this covenant, this people, and those who would receive Yahusha's witness, even the Gentiles. The Gentiles don't know nothing about Pesach unless we share it with them. But the witness of Yahushua Ha'Mashiach doesn't require Pesach for them. The witness of Yahushua Ha'Mashiach brought Yeshua to the Gentiles without ever having Torah, without ever having any of that, right? Because they are established in Emunah, in what the word of Yahushua has brought to them in the volume of the renewed covenant, right? Yeah, okay. Some of y'all may be like, yeah, well, it's all right though. It's all right though, right? Yahuah will witness it to you. And again, you got to understand, and I understand, my objective in prayer in Yahuah is not to offend anyone or cause anyone to stumble, right? Because I understand that in this witness, in the Ruach HaKodesh, we are to undergird, we are to strengthen, we are to bear the infirmities of those that are weak in Emunah. But even in your Emunah, you have an obligation to transform the way you think. Yahushua will transform your insides. Oh yeah, he's going to take away the sin consciousness. He's going to establish you in Yahuah. But you have an obligation to transform your mind. You have an obligation to be established in this word. You have an obligation to receive the witness of the Ruach HaKodesh, the Ruach HaKodesh of truth that brings wisdom and revelation concerning him as you meditate, right, in the word and transform the way you think. This witness is about Yahushua Ha'Mashiach. Everything is about the kingdom of Yahuah coming. Yahuah has established his dominion in the earth through Yahushua Ha'Mashiach. His dominion is established in the earth through Yahushua Ha'Mashiach. His dominion is not established in Pesach. His dominion is established in the witness of Yahushua Ha'Mashiach, who fulfilled all things. Now Yahuah is going to establish everything in its proper order when the kingdom comes and he appears. Right, yeah, he gonna set it all in motion, right? He gonna put all of the days in order. He gonna put everybody on the same page, right? We gonna have one language. He gonna establish it. But until then, we move in Emunah, because the Ruach HaKodesh in us gives us what we need to get the job done. And the emphasis is reaching men and women for the witness of Yahushua Mashiach, those that Yahuah has chosen. And listen. We are responsible for giving out this witness, right? Yahuah is responsible for those who are on the end of that witness who receive it. So we got to get it out, right? We got to get it out, And even in the midst of getting it out, even in these YouTubes that I send forth, right? We only have 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 people to get this witness, right? To receive this witness, who are made alive, quickened, right? Because in this quickening is the establishment of Yahuah's kingdom, right? That Ruach HaKodesh, which you must receive, right? That spirit of truth, right? That causes you to take the word of Yahuah and allow it to transform the way you think. Yeah, that's the Ruach HaKodesh. Ruach HaKodesh is important. So, we're in the last chapter of Romans. And a lot of this last chapter has to do with Paul's personal recognition of individuals that have played a key role in his delivering of the Besorah and the overall message of Yeshua to those that are of the other nations, right? So what we have here is Paul speaking of specific people in certain situations, or specific people in reference to this witness. I mean, you got to understand now, if you remember the 15th chapter, the 14th chapter, Paul talked about how we have to bear the infirmities of the weak, those who are weak in emunah, how we have to demonstrate in our walk in emunah that which pleases our brother, right? We have to do and say the things that lend to edification, right? And that's what Paul was doing even in this 16th chapter. He was lending towards the edification of those people that he had identified. And I'm sure Paul couldn't identify them all, because, Paul's ministry was a great ministry to the other nations. So, he can't, and not just to the other nations, to Israelite, to his kinsmen too. But the idea is that Paul's attempt to reach or to identify or to recognize, right, those who have impacted his life and those who have impacted the lives of others in the ministry, and how we as people in Yahuwah's ministry body, because it's all about the body of Yahusha. It's not about my assembly, your assembly. It's not about you, Great Awakening. I'm Rebirth Assembly. I'm whatever other assemblies. All those assemblies. Got a bunch of them out there. And I just named those. And those are not the only ones. But the idea is that we're all a part of the body, right? And everybody in the body has a responsibility to the body. Right, and then in the moment you don't accept that fact, then you missed it, because you don't become an island unto yourself, and an island unto himself is just what it is, an island unto himself. And Yahuwah don't have islands unto himself. He has a whole world. He has it all. So the idea is that we're required to be in service of each other. We're required to pray for one another. We're required to edify one another, because that's what Yahusha has done. He says in that 15th chapter, we then that are strong ought to bear the weaknesses, right? Infirmities of those that are in the flesh. But no, I take that back. We are to bear the infirmities of the weak and not to please ourselves, right? Now, the infirmities, we're not talking about sicknesses, or we're not talking about sin nature. We're talking about the weaknesses that are attached to people who have not established themselves to the level of emunah that, say, someone has meditated and developed and grown as a result of the renewal of the mind, the transforming of the mind, transforming of the thought. You know what I'm saying? So, you got people that are established in the witness, that are new, that are babes, right? And they're considered weak in the faith, weak in emunah, weak in the witness, right? We got to gird them up. We got to support them. We can't get into disputes that are senseless, right? That may cause them to stumble or fall or be turned out of the way. You got to watch what you say to the people in your assemblies, because, you got people in your assembly, some of them just coming in, just getting established in emunah, and you're not encouraging, you encourage them to walk in emunah, you encourage them to walk in the word, in the Besorah, and the Torah, right? And they're doing it, but they're not moving as fast, they're not catching on as fast, and they get offended, right? But you got a responsibility to make that thing right. You don't just say, "Oh, well, you got offended." You get, you don't have to appreciate what we doing here. You go somewhere else. Well, whatever. You out of line and out of order. You don't do that. That's not what Shaul was talking about. Shaul said we got to bear the infirmities of the weak. We got to strengthen them up. We got to undergird them. I'm not talking about put up with somebody's sin. That's not what Shaul's talking about. Shaul's not talking about bearing somebody who's in sin. No, No, you ain't in sin. You can't do this. You playing games. You need to understand that this is the witness. The witness is accepting Yahushua Mashiach. And accepting the witness of Yahushua Mashiach, he cleanses you from all sin. Having had your sin cleansed, your consciousness of sin cleansed, you've been made clean. You've been made pure. You've been made righteous. You've been baptized. You've received that. Now you've received the Ruach HaKodesh. The Ruach HaKodesh is the spirit of truth. It's going to lead you and to guide you. Now you got to get into the word. You got to read the word. You got to meditate on the word. You got to keep the word of Yahuwah before me. You got to pray. You got to read. You got to fast. You got to do these things. All right. And the people who are strong understand these things, and we live these things out. We do these things on a daily basis. But someone who's just new, or just been born, or just recently have been established, well, listen, you got to take it easy with them, right? Right? Because they're Yahuwah's servant, right? You are Yahuwah's servant. They're Yahuwah's servant. You have received Yahuwah's witness. They have received Yahuwah's witness. You have received the Ruach HaKodesh. They have received the Ruach HaKodesh. You have received a measure of faith. They have received a measure of faith. You have been established in the development of your measure for a period of time that's caused you to be established in truths and things that they're not in. I can't do anything to cause them to stumble as a result of my liberty. Oh, yeah. Have liberty in Yahushua Mashiach. Paul uses the reference of eating meat and eating vegetables. The weak brother can't only eat vegetables. He recognizes that. Or the weak brothers ain't prepared to eat meat, right? Because, they got to chew on veggies, right? Takes a lot to masticate meat. It takes a lot to take meat and digest it and have it pass through the system. Don't get twisted. You got brews that say, well, we don't eat meat, we eat vegetables. Well, you go ahead and eat vegetables. That's fine. Shaul said, that's fine. Don't judge me, and I won't judge you. Right? You can't judge me because I eat meat and vegetables, and you just choose to eat vegetables. We ain't got time to argue about that. We ain't got time for you to destroy my imunah because I choose to eat vegetables. I got to accept that. And I'm not going to get into no disputing over that issue, because Yahuwah is the master of you and he's the master of me. I belong to Yahuwah. You belong to Yahuwah. I have imunah. You have imunah. And my imunah, which makes me stronger, demands me to undergird you who are weak. Right? Until you get to the place where you are established because of your meditating on, you're spending time in, you hearing the word of Yahuwah, which you read go into your ear, because that's how imunah is established. Faith comes by hearing. You got to hear the word. So you got to hear the word from your mouth. That's why I'm a big proponent of opening up the word and reading it audibly so that you can hear it go into your ears, so it can process in your banks, your memory banks. It establishes you. It's a purpose. It flows. It causes you to be renewed. It establishes you in imunah, right? And that's what it's going to take to cause you from going from being weak in the faith to developing strength in the faith. But we who are strong have to bear the infirmities of the weak. That's just the way it is. Can't get around it. So, Shaul in the 16th chapter, opens up with, and goes through several greetings and salutations, right? So he says, in the 16th chapter, in that first verse, I commend unto you Phebe, right? Now, Phebe,
Strong's G 5402.
Phebe. Sir, her name is Radiance, right? So Phebe, she's a female. Her name is Radiance, right? She is said to have been a deaconess of the church of one of the assemblies in Corinth, right? Female, deaconess, servant, right? He says, our sister, right? Phebe, Gentile, right? Servant of the church, right? The assembly, which is at Cenchrea, right? Or Cenchrea is, I'm not sure I'm pronouncing that right, but
Strong's G 2747.
Cenchrea. It don't look like it sounds. But anyway, it means millet. It's the eastern border, no, it's the eastern harbor of Corinth, right? So it's a place that's located on the eastern harbor of Corinth. Corinthian Gulf connected it with Italy and the West, all right? So Phebe, right, a Gentile, right, is commended, right, by Shaul. Let's see what he says about her. He says, that you receive her in Adonai Yahusha, right? Receive her as becometh the saints, set apart. The qodeshiym. So Paul is, right, commending Phebe, right, and is instructing the church in Rome, the assemblies in Rome, to receive her. Commends her. She has a track record. He said she's a saint. The saints are the set apart, right? The saints are the qodeshiym, right?
Strong's G40. Hagios.
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 It means the most holy, right? Right? As the most holy, right? Right? Consider her as the most holy, right? In Hamashiach, right? Because I am indicating to you that she has a track record with me, and I recognize who she is and what she does, right? Shaul says, right, that ye receive her in Adonai, right, as becometh most holy, and that you assist her in whatever business she have need of you. So there's something that she's going to be doing in Rome, and I want you who are in Rome, right, that are in this witness, right, to assist her, right, and don't be a terror to her good works. Don't get in the way of what she's doing, because she is recommended by me. And yes, she's a female. Right? Yes, she's a female. He says, listen. And that ye assist her. She may have something that she has to do service-wise, right? Right? That requires the assistance of you. See to it that you assist her, right? In whatsoever business she has need of you. So whatever she needs from you to assist her in doing, do it. Because I recommend her. Right? She's a qodeshiym. She's of the saints. She's of the holy. He's set apart. Right? He says, for she haveth been a succor to many, and of myself. Now that word succor means help, I think. Right? Okay, it means, now this is the word, it says, a woman set over others. She was a woman set over others, right?
Strong's G 4368. Prostatis.
Right? It also means a female guardian, right? A protectress, right? A patroness, caring for the affairs of others and aiding them with her resources. She was a succor. He said she was a guardian. She was a god. Oh, right? She was a protectress. Yeah. You better, look, help this sister out. Yep, this sister out. This sister, she has been a guardian, a protectress of many. And she has protected many. She has been a guardian to many. Right? And of myself, she protected and defended me, myself. She was a protectress of me. Listen, she was secure. Right? She was secure. Right? Let me see if that's pronounced. The Greek is protistius. This word is used one time. It's translated in this one time. Right? Feminine of a derivative, a patroness, an assistant, right? She was an assistant. She was an assistant to Paul, right? It is a female guardian, protectress, patron, caring for the affairs of others and aiding them with her resources, right? Show, right? He identifies her and recognizes her for her service, right? Right? Shaul is recommending and identifying people who are worthy of being contributors to other people in other areas, right? Who may be stronger in imunah when it comes to certain things, or may have something to give, right? And they may need something in return, right? Why? Because it's the body. It's Hamashiach's body. It is Hamashiach's body. It's the witness, right? It's the witness of Yahushua Ha'Mashiach. It's the body, right? It's what we do, supporting one another, commending one another, edifying one another, right? Bearing the infirmities of the weak, right? And lifting them up, right? He says, greet Priscilla and Aquila. We know who they are. They were workers with Paul. Paul spent time with them. It's recorded in Acts, where they were tent makers in the same city, and Paul was there with them for a while because he had that common skill. He had that skill in common with them, right? And he met Aquila and Priscilla, right? And Paul recognized and identified them as anointed men and women of Yahuah, right? And that was worthy of recommendation, right? Paul, at one point, I think Paul said, turn somebody over to Aquila and Priscilla, right? I don't know if Paul did or they just happened to stumble on him. They stumbled upon him and turned him over to Shaul or Shaul. It was either one way or the other. Either they had identified him and sent him to Paul, or Shaul had identified them and sent them to Aquila and Priscilla. I can't remember. It's in Acts. But anyway, they were known to be men and women that were anointed and that were well versed, right? Because, you know, what was that individual whose name? Apollos. Yeah, Apollos. Aquila and Priscilla met Apollos, and Apollos, you know, he was preaching on the baptism of Yahusha'S, but Apollos was well versed and well educated, eloquent, right? He understood the Torah. He was able to teach and convert people based on what he perceived in the Torah and under Yahusha'S baptism, right? Right, but Aquila and Priscilla had to come and show him a better way. Actually, show him the fullness of Yahushua Ha'Mashiach's witness. And of course, after they did that, they sent him on his way, and they sent him with recommendation, right? So Shaul understood them to be helpers. He said, greet them, He said, they are my helpers in Yahushua Ha'Mashiach. Aquila and Priscilla. He said, who have for my life laid down their necks. Shaul said, look, they laid down themselves for me. Right? They put themselves in a position that could have gotten them killed or imprisoned or stoned. Right? Shaul said they laid down their necks. Right? He says, upon whom not only I give thanks, but also all the church of the Gentiles. You see, because Aquila and Priscilla were Hebrews. They were Hebrews, right? And they spent the bulk of their time amongst the Gentiles, right? So Aquila and Priscilla, they were Hebrews, but they were of the nation. They were kinsmen, right, to Shaul, right? Kinswomen, you know. They were of the Hebrew nation, but they were also, right, instrumental, right, in the Gentile churches or in Gentile assemblies, right? Because, you know, they sent Apollos with letters, right? And Apollos was going in and out and amongst the territories that, you know, Shaul was going in and out of at times. And he was preaching to the Gentiles, right? So he says, likewise, greet the assembly that is in their house, right? They got people that come to hear the word of Yahuah, right? In their house, right? Right, because his Besorah was about being house to house, actually. When the numbers became too big, they used to meet outside, right? They weren't trying to get into no synagogue, right? Synagogues were still under the authority or the dominion of the Hebrews. And if the Hebrews weren't converted, right, then you wasn't going to get up in there talking about Mashiach. So they met outside, right? Along in a place set apart, right? Or they had services in their houses, right? And they had her services in houses. And Aquila and Priscilla had one in theirs. And Shaul said, listen, greet them. Greet their people, right? They're in their house because they are just as instrumental as Aquila and Priscilla. It's the body. Because it's all one body. It's a body of believers that are working together to establish Yahusha's kingdom, right? And the body is made up of Brews and Gentiles, right? Brews and Gentiles. Okay. He says, likewise, greet the church that is in their house. Salute my well-beloved and Epaenetus, who is the first fruit of our Achaia unto Hamashiach. So this Arphenius, let's look him up, see what they say about him.
Strong's G 1866.
Epaenetus, right? His name means praiseworthy, right? Praiseworthy. He is a convert at Rome, right? Greeted by Shaul. So Shaul said that he was one of the first converts to the witness of Yahushua Ha'Mashiach, right? Greet him, right? Pay him salutations, right? Extend shalom and peace to him, right? Yeah, he of the other nations. Yeah, he Gentile. But greet him. Because Paul had a diversity of congregation. Because he had brews too. He had brews. Because he wrote letters to Hebrews. Wrote letters to the Hebrew assemblies. Right? That no doubt had Hebrews and Gentiles. He says, listen, greet Mary, right, who bestowed much labor on us. Mary was working on behalf of this ministry, this ministry that Yahuah was engaged in. He said, listen, she was my helper, Mary. She bestowed labor. She worked. She worked. She may not have gotten much praise, but I want you to know, listen, greet Mary. Because Mary worked hard on my behalf. She's men and women in this ministry. This ain't a man-dominated, male-dominated ministry. Listen, again, it's a ministry of structure and order, right? But the order is not limited to men alone. The order, or not even the order, the service is not limited to men alone. It's an order, but it also includes women. It doesn't exclude them. You know, you got some of these camps, some of these places, you know, they're talking bad about our sisters, you know, treating them wrong, humiliating them. This is not the Mashiach's witness. I don't know what you done ate, but it ain't that. Right? He said, listen. Salute Andronicus and Junia, my kinsman, Andronicus, right? His name means victory. He was a Hebrew convert, right? He was a Hebrew convert. And Junia, right? His name means youthful. She a Christian. It says Christian, but you know it ain't. I'm just going to say a convert. A convert female at Rome, mentioned by Paul as one of his kinfolk or fellow prisoners, right? So here we have a man and a woman. They are of the nation of Yasharal, right? And my fellow prisoners. Right? At some point, they shared the same cell. Or they were in prison, right, due to the same set of circumstances, preaching the Besorah, which caused them to be incarcerated, right? Or they were in prison, they received the witness of Yahushua Ha'Mashiach, and became prisoners with Paul in prison. I mean, how it would transpire, we are not sure, but what we do understand is they were related, they were bruised, they were fellow, and they were fellow prisoners. He says, who are of note among the apostles. The apostles even know of Andronicus and Junia. Right? And he says, who are of note among the apostles, who also were in Hamashiach before me. They received the witness of Yahushua Ha'Mashiach before I did. Right? And they are known amongst the apostles. Right? Paul acknowledging how effectual and how important it is for the body to function as one. And for everyone to recognize everyone's achievement and service, right? Because it's the big picture. The big picture is Yahushua Ha'Mashiach, the head of the body. That's the big picture. We are in Yahushua Ha'Mashiach. We are in our own little world, our own little fellowships. We are connected. We are one body, right? He says, greet Amplias, my beloved in Adonai, right? Amplias, right? His word means large, right? He is also a convert living in Rome, right? Convert living in Rome, right? Amplias, right? And he's beloved, which means he's loved deeply by Shaul, right? He says, salute our Urbane, our helpers in Hamashiach, and Stachys, my beloved. Again, he's bringing the brethren together, right? He's establishing the connection between people. He's establishing the need for you to have the same connection because we're still one body, right? This brother is a blessing to me. He's a blessing to you. He's beloved to me. He can be beloved to you, right? Right? Salute him. Shalom him. Shalom her. Shalom them. Bokato shalom. Right? He said, listen. Salute Apelles, approved in Hamashiach. He's been approved in Hamashiach for the service of whatever it is Yahusha has called him to do. Listen, he's approved. I don't know what anybody else says, but I, Shaul, know this individual, and he's approved. So if there's something that you need for him to do or something a word you need, look, he's approved. He can do it. I put my name on him. I identify with the fact that he has the witness of Yahushua Ha'Mashiach. He's established in it. He has a Ruach HaKodesh. He's approved. It's establishing the unity of the body. We all work and fit jointly together by which each joint supplieth. It's a functioning body, right? And we need to get into the habit of exhorting one another and lifting one another up instead of tearing one another down, right? We need to strengthen the body. Now, I'm not talking about lifting up people who, who are out in strange doctrine. They got strange doctrine and teaching. If they ain't teaching the witness of Yahushua Ha'Mashiach, then I ain't talking about them. If they're preaching and teaching the witness of Yahushua Ha'Mashiach and established in the Ruach HaKodesh, I'm talking about them. Right? He says, salute Apelles, who is approved of Hamashiach, and salute them which are of Aristobulus household. Now again, these are all people that Shaul has come into contact with. And Paul remembers them by name. He's establishing a connection with these people who can be a help to them, right? Because they're part of the body. Listen, we're all a part of that same body, right? Don't matter that they Gentiles. If they're established in the witness, they are part of that body. Part of that body. I got Gentile brothers and sisters that are part of this body. I got Gentile brothers and sisters that are part of this body that I've received in this witness. I do. That I keep track of, that I spend time with, that I talk to, that I share with. Why? Because they in the body. I need them, they need me. Somebody gonna hear this sword of truth and be quick and made alive. They're going to understand it, right? He says, okay, so salute Herodion, my kinsman, another brew, right? Greet them that be of the household of Narcissus, which are in Adonai. Listen, all these people are in the witness of Yahushua Ha'Mashiach. Greet them, salute them. Right? They're going to come at different times. You're going to see them, have contact with them. Say to them, look, I salute you. I've heard of you coming. My name is Andronicus, or my name is, listen, we're all a part of the body. If there's something that I can do for you, let me know, because this is what we do. We strengthen one another. We care for one another. We bear the infirmities of one another. We support one another. We undergird one another. He says, salute Tryphena and Tryphosa, who labor in Adonai Yahusha. These people working. They working in the witness of Yahushua Ha'Mashiach. Right? They're laborers. Let's see what the first one's name it says. Time.
Strong's G 5170. Tryphena.
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 Right? Tryphena. Her name's mean luxurious. She is a sister, right, in the faith, right? And Tryphos, right? Her name is luxurious, means similar, and she is also a woman in the faith, right? And quite possibly could have been sisters, because they both bear the same 5 first letters, right? So they could have been sisters. They could have been twins. I mean, that's a stretch. I don't know. But, you know, they bear the same first part of the first name, right? But they labor. You know, listen, women labor. Listen, women labor. If you got a ministry with women that labor, man, you better do everything you can to make sure that you acknowledge what they do. Because that's a beautiful thing. Because sisters be dead up, devoted, and committed. They gonna run in. They gonna run. Right? They are. Now, you know, not all of them. Some of them going to sit back and enjoy the ride. But, you know, you got some sisters that are going to get up in there and get busy and just going to be about Yahuwah's business and about his work. They're going to be like, yeah, I'll go. Yeah, I'll do. Yeah. Listen. Acknowledge them. Acknowledge them. Right? Don't just acknowledge all these sisters that can get up and talk and share a word. Acknowledge them sisters that's grinding it out every Shabbat with them kids. With your anointed ones. With your circumcised sons. Support them women that's preparing and serving food for you on your Shabbat. Support them women that get there early and on their knees and praying. Support them women that's cleaning up the building and making sure that things look beautiful. Look, support them women who you know is going to go out and do some laboring and getting into other sisters' house and helping them straighten stuff up and do things. Support them women. Acknowledge them. Acknowledge them. All you want to do is pay homage to the people that write books, do stories, and teach a lesson. Listen. It's only once. Listen. You got to have people who are going to be consistently doing the stuff that some of these sisters do that they labor to do. And brothers too. So you got brothers that say, look, elder, let me get the chairs out. Look, elder, let me do this, let me do that, elder. And acknowledge that. You know? Let them brothers know what they doing is important. Because we one body. You ain't gonna get it done by, because you listen, we one body. Right? He says, salute Rufus, chosen in Adonai. Yahuwah chose Rufus. He's chosen in Adonai Yahusha. Rufus, right? And his mother and mine. He said, listen, salute Rufus, chosen in Adonai Yahusha, and his mother and mine. His mother and my mother, I guess. Right? Salute him. Because he was chosen. You got to acknowledge people, right? You can't let people's work go unnoticed. You got to appreciate them. You know, we got to appreciate them. You know, people appreciate the elders or people and teachers like me because, you know, we get up and we deliver a word. But see, I appreciate that man of low estate. I appreciate that brother that takes the time to make sure that, you know, I have this or I have that, right? I appreciate that brother. I appreciate that brother's work for the ministry that has to do with the body. Appreciate that sister, that work that has to do with the body. I appreciate that. And you know what? Your reward is with Yahuah. And it ain't going to go unnoticed. I'm going to notice it. I'm going to declare it. But Yahuah's going to notice it. He's going to declare it. He's going to bless it. Right? He says, salute Andronicus and Phebe and Hermas and Patrobus and Hermes and the brethren which are with them. Look, salute them. Now, okay, let's do this. Let's look at that word salute because we say it.
Strong's
It's being said a lot.
782. Aspazamai.
Espazamai. To draw to oneself. Draw these people to you. Draw these people to you. Right? These people who are doing these things, these people who are devoted and committed to the witness of Yahushua Ha'Mashiach, draw these people to yourself. Salute one, greet one, bid welcome, wish well to, receive joyfully, welcome. Right? Right? Do these things, say these things to these people because you know what? They deserve it. Embrace them. Right? Right? He says, uphold them in your arms. Right? Salute. Uphold them in your arms. Salute. Right? Right? And Philogallus and Julia and Nereus and his sister and Olympus and all the saints which are with them. Listen. Salute and greet. Uplift them. Right? We who are strong must uphold, bear the infirmities of the weak. Right? Strengthen these brothers. Acknowledge these brothers. Uphold these brothers, these sisters that are in service to you. You see all these people that Shaul is identifying and recognizing? All of these people that Shaul is recognizing and identifying them in the witness. And they're Gentile and Hebrews. He says, salute one another with a holy kiss. Listen, show affection with a holy kiss, right? And you know what a holy kiss. With a holy kiss. All right? A holy kiss. Kiss on the cheek. Don't be deep. Be sticking your tongue all this somebody's mouth. Y'all know what a holy kiss is. You know. Come on. You know. A holy kiss is a kiss that is without intentions of anything other than holiness. Right? Right? He says, the assemblies of Hamashiach salute you. So now Shaul has dealt to this point with the salutations. He's put everybody that he could think of before the people in Rome in this letters with the hope of when they come into contact with any of these people that they would salute them, that they would uphold them. If they need help, you got some sisters that can help you. If they come to you and they need assistance, look, help them. Because you know why? We're one body. We are helpers one to another. We are strengthened. We are called to strengthen one another, right? He says, now, I beseech you, brethren, mark them that cause division. Right? Mark them. Right? Identify them. Right? He doesn't mean like put a big X on their head. But identify verbally who they are. And let other people know verbally who they are, right? Don't you just strike out on your own and make a decision to do it. You know, everything has to be done by the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses, right? And once you have identified these individuals, establish them for what they do, right? And even with that, we have to have the Ruach HaKodesh, right? Because, sometimes people mark people because the people that they mark go against them. And their going against them has nothing to do with righteousness. It has everything to do with unrighteousness. So I go against you because I see something that you're doing is unrighteous. But what you do is because you got the power, you mark me as being the unrighteous one. Where, I have to and everybody else have to be led by the Ruach HaKodesh to be able to discern for ourselves, right, whether or not you are wrong or they are wrong, right? But when you're marking someone in righteousness, right, it's established, right? But we have to be careful because, somebody may mark somebody and come on. That brother and that sister ain't like that. Just because they don't agree with what you do. They don't agree with everything you say. Look, if they weaker, then you know what? Guess what? You're supposed to understand that and not get into disputes over stupid stuff. It's for somebody. I don't know who, but it's for somebody. He said, listen. I beseech you, brother, mark them that cause what? Separation. Right? Because you got some people that are just wicked, diabolical. All they want to do is cause separation. They want to sow division. Right? They want to sow division amongst the body. Right? But you got to identify them. Identify them in the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses. Right? Right? And then once you've identified them and established them in the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses, give them a space to repent. If what they've done is wrong and they acknowledge that they were wrong and they repent, then guess what? Forgive them and restore them. That's the order of things. But if they don't want to acknowledge it and you have the witnesses, then you know what? Excommunicado. Right? Oh, yeah. Mark them that are among you that cause division. Right? And remove them from your assembly. But you have to have the witnesses. And you have to have a foundation to stand on. It can't be what I think or what I heard or what I feel. You got to be able to line it up with witnesses. If it's something like that, because division is a cancer. You can't let division be that cancer that works its way in your assembly, right? And you got to deal with it, but you got to have the witnesses. You have to have the solid foundation. And if they acknowledge it as something that they did, they had the conversation, they struck out and said some things that they might not have should have said, and they apologize and repent, then guess what? You are to restore such a one. Right? Right? If they don't, then, it's excommunicado. Because you got to mark them. The way you mark them is put them out. Mark them that cause division amongst you. Hey, go lay down. Get away from here. My dog. She and her man pulling up because he's going to cut the grass. She going to go off. He do it every week. Every couple of weeks. So, he says, who cause division and create offense. Right? 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 Now let's look at this. Let's look at this. What does it mean to cause division? Right? The Greek word is
Strong's G 1370. Dehastasia.
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 Dehastasia. It is dissension. Cause dissension. You cause stuff to get started. You start stuff. Right? You start stuff. You start sedition. Right? Right? Disunion. Right? You wanna suggest some different doctrine or some different ideology or something that's just going to cause people to be disunity, right? And sometimes, when you have assemblies and you have people that, that are ruachal, right? And Yahuah reveals and shows them things, right? And, they start to discuss those things, right? And it makes you look bad. Then what you want to do is you want to cause them to look bad. Turn the tables, right? But the idea is if there's someone or something that's causing dissension, right? That's creating the spirit of disunion, right, in the body, then that's a disease, a cancer that has to be removed, right? Now he says, them that cause division and offense contrary to the doctrine which you have learned and avoid them, right? So the doctrine is the teaching of Yahushua Ha'Mashiach. Somebody trying to teach you something other than what Yahushua Ha'Mashiach teach. Listen, somebody trying to teach you in Yahushua Ha'Mashiach. You've received the witness of Yahushua Ha'Mashiach, been filled with the Ruach HaKodesh, right? You're walking in liberty, right? You're free from the consciousness of sin. They won't tell you that. You know what? But you're supposed to be circumcised. Yeah. Yeah, you're supposed to keep Pesach, right? You're supposed to follow the Hebraic customs. You ain't even Hebrew. You're a Gentile. You received the witness in the Ruach HaKodesh. Yahuwah filled you with his Ruach without any of these. Right, but they're gonna sneak in and try to cause you to be turned out. Right. You've received the witness of Yahushua Mashiach. You're free. You've received Yeshua through Emunah in the witness of Yahushua Mashiach. You received the water. You received the blood. You received the Ruach HaKodesh. And they creeping in trying to tell you, listen, girl. Listen, man. It's Yah only. This whole Yahushua thing. Nah, it's Yah only. It's the Torah and it's not, man. You don't get twisted up, in this Jesus. Don't get twisted up in this Yahushua Mashiach. Don't get twisted up in that, because it's only Yah only. That was Constantine's gospel. He's the gospel of the he's the Constantine of the Gospels. That Shaul. He you could tell he don't know Yahuwah. Yeah, they sowing division. They creating this problem, right? They're sliding in doctrines that's contrary to the witness that you've received in Yahushua Mashiach that's made you free. Because see, Yahushua Mashiach has established you in the witness, and because he has, you are the fulfillment of Torah. Because you received Yahushua, who is the Torah made flesh. And now he lives in you. So the fulfillment of Torah, the capacity to keep it is in you. You ain't got to go back to Tanakh and Torah. You got to go back to Yah only. Yah said you got to come through his son Yahusha. But see, these are people who cause division, right? And because they cause division, right, they got to be dealt with. You give them space to repent. You bring them before the assembly. You know, you got 3 witnesses. Listen, these are 3 witnesses. Da 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 da. Yeah, well, you know, you came to me and you said such and such, 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 and I didn't feel comfortable with it. And I told, and I mentioned it to Elder, and Elder said thank you very much. And this sister right here testified. She said, yeah, she came to me and was talking to me about the same thing. She's telling me how what you were saying wasn't right. Da 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 da. Yeah, this brother, yeah, she came to me, you know, she mentioned it to me and da 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 da. Yeah, that's division. Well, you know, the assembly has to say, okay, listen, this individual is causing division contrary to what we teach, right? Now, are you going to repent and turn, or are we just going to turn you? We going to put you out? Yeah, because it's order. There's still order, right? Still order in assembly. You don't just put up with doctrinal heresies, or not even heresies, but doctrinal or things that are affecting adversely the witness of Yahushua Ha'Mashiach's doctrine, Torah, right? He says, if they try to teach something contrary to what you have learned, he said, avoid them. Avoid them, right? Don't look. They come in you. They look like they coming to you. Go in the opposite direction, right? Put them out the assembly. That's the way to avoid them. You know, yeah. You got to deal with it, because if you don't, it's going to be a cancer. It's going to dissolve. It's going to cause. It's going to cause your assembly to become disunified, right? It's a sedition. You got to deal with that, because if you don't, you know, it's like cancer. It's like taking an apple in a bushel, right? And you take the apple and you see where it's starting to turn brown, right? But you know what? You put it in because you said, well, that's only like 2% of the apple is brown, right? Right. You come back 3 days later, right? Not only has that apple got some little brown on it and it's gotten bigger, you got 2 or 3 other apples that got brown and starting to get bitter. Why? Because that's what division does. It causes things to be infected. You should have removed the apple. First point, when you see it changing, you should cut that piece out, cut the apple up and ate it. But now, you know, it's becoming such a infectious thing that you got to totally remove it from everything else. And because you left it there, it's done affected other apples. So now you got to cut them pieces off that apple and you know, take them out the bushel. Yeah, you do. He says, for they that are such serve not our Adonai Yahusha Ha'Mashiach. They ain't in this for the witness. They ain't in this for the witness. They in this to disrupt the witness. Right? It's not about the assembly. It's about the disruption of the witness. It's about affecting the body, right? Affecting the unity of the witness, right? That's in Hamashiach. They want to destroy that, right? Right? He says, for they that are such serve not Adonai Yahusha Ha'Mashiach, but their own bellies. They're doing it for themselves, right? And by the good words and fair speech deceive the hearts of the weak in faith. right? Right? They deceive the hearts that are weak in faith. They try to pull them off, right? Try to pull them off and pull them away. You know, right? Try to pull them off and pull them away. See, you know, I'm this kind of elder, right? I know those who are among me, you know, and I'm grateful to, you know, Yahuah, because the next couple of weeks I'm going to be going up to Connecticut and I'm going to be baptizing some of the people that are part of Basora. Yeah. Yeah, as we celebrate our Pesach, and when we go in, I'm going up to baptize them. And I'm going to lay hands on them that they may receive the Ruach HaKodesh. But they already have it. I just know it because I can tell it. But I'm going to do it because I'm going to do it in obedience to how it is in the Word. You know, because, you know, people, Ruach HaKodesh fell on people before they was even baptized. So, you know, that's possible. You know, you will do anything. Because, you know, we got space and time and distance between us. So, you know, you will know what he's doing. But listen, I'm going to do it. Right? But I'm going to mark anybody that sows division among them. You know, just ain't everybody going to be able to say and everything to them. You know what I mean? Once you become a part of the Basora of Truth, right? And if I baptize you, and if I lay hands on you, oh yeah. No. Look, who? No, listen. You gonna be able to know, and I'm gonna mark them. I know those who labor among me. I know my Achaia, my Okotes. I know. See, because they deceive the simple. Right? Deceive those that are weak in Emunah. Those who aren't strong in the faith. See, because if you're strong in the Word and the Basora of Truth and the Ruach HaKodesh is in you, you're going to see that devil coming. Because you're establishing a witness. You recognize this Basora and the Store of Truth. But if you're young in Emunah, you know, you young in this, you know, they're going to say some things to you and just totally take you right off your game. I've seen it happen. Right? But, you know, Yahuah is faithful. Yahuah know what he needs, and he knows what he needs to do. He says, for your obedience is come abroad unto all men, and I am glad therefore on your behalf, but yet I would not, but yet I would have you wise unto that which is good and simple concerning evil. He said, listen, and this ain't something that I'm saying that I necessarily seen, but listen, I can't let you go without you recognizing that these things are a possibility, right? You can have somebody that sows division, and if they do, you got to do this, because if you don't, it's going to be a problem. It's going to create a sedition. And listen, understand this, right? For I know you serve Yahushua. I know you do. I know you're obedient to the witness that you've received. I know you are. Also, I know you're obedient to the witness. I know you recognize this. He said, but listen, I got to let you know this evil, right? Got to have you wise. Because you got to understand this stuff pop up. He said, listen. He says, and the lure of peace shall bruise Hasatan under your feet. See, you and the Ruach HaKodesh, when you take your authority in Yahushua Ha'Mashiach concerning division, yeah. You bruise Hasatan's feet. I mean, you bruise Hasatan under your feet. Because you go forth in the same authority and dominion, and you deal with division right? The same division that Yahusha dealt with, right? Who had the dominion, having put all things under his feet, and gave Yahusha to be head over all things to the assemblies. You also have he quickened. You too have things under your feet in Hamashiach, right? He said, listen, a lure of peace, right? Right? Shallow of peace shall bruise Hasatan under your feet. Shortly, the grace of our Adonai Yahusha Ha'Mashiach be with you. Amen. So he's closing out this letter of Romans. He says, listen, Timothy is my fellow worker, and Lucius and Jason and Sophia, my kinsmen, salute you. They with me. They saluting you there. Right? He said, and Cenchrea, who wrote this epistle, salutes you in Adonai Yahusha. Right? So I had somebody to dictate this epistle for me. He wrote it. I told him what to wrote, but he wrote it. Right? He says, and Geisha, my host, Geisha, mine host, he who's taking care of me, right? And of the whole church salute you, of the whole assembly, the assemblies that are here with me, right? All salute you, right? He says, Aristobulus, the chamberlain of the city, salutes you, and Herodion, a brother. So all of these people are sending salutations to the assembly in Rome because they're recognizing that they're all one body, though they're in different locations. They all may have different ministries, but they're all still one body. Right? They all may be separate assemblies in different houses, different places, different structures, but they're all one assembly. They're one body in Hamashiach, right? He says, the grace of our Adonai Yahusha Ha'Mashiach be with you all. All of you. Amen. He says, now to him that is of power to establish you according to the Basora, to my Basora. Paul is saying, listen, now unto him that is of power to establish you according to my Basora. What I've been preaching to you, the doctrine that I've delivered unto you, it's a Mashiach's doctrine, but for you, it's from me to you. It's mine because I claim it from me to you. It's Yahusha's doctrine. Right? But I'm the one that brought it to you. I'm the one that caused you to grow in it. I'm the one that's writing you this letter. Well, actually, I'm dictating this letter to you, and Tertius is writing it. Right? He says, now unto him that is of power to establish, Yahushua Mashiach, right? Right? To establish you according to this Basora and the preaching of Yahushua Ha'Mashiach according to the revelations of the mysteries which was kept secret since the world began. What was the mystery that was kept secret? The witness of Yahushua Ha'Mashiach, right? Establishment of the kingdom of Yahuah in the Eretz to Yaakov and to the other nations that Yahuah has chosen. And Shaul is referencing the other nations who Yahusha has chosen. When he says, Yahusha, according to the revelation, the revealed knowledge of the mystery which was kept secret, that Yahushua Hamashiach's salvation was to the Yahudim and to the other nations since the world began, right? But now is manifested, and by the scriptures of the prophets, according to the commandments of this everlasting Yahuah, made known to all nations. Right? The witness, the Besorah, the establishment of Yahuwah's kingdom, to everyone who would have emunah and receive the water, the blood and the Ruach HaKodesh of Yahusha, right? And in receiving the Ruach HaKodesh, be established in his kingdom, right? 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 All nations, for the obedience of faith, for having emunah in the witness. Because it's about the emunah and the witness, man of Yah, woman of Yah. It's about the emunah and the witness. You got to receive emunah and the witness. You got to be established in this witness, right? Shaul says, to Yahuah only, be wise, right? To Yahuah only, be wise, right? To Yahuah only wise, be glory. Through Yahushua Ha'Mashiach, forever and ever, amen. Man of Yah, woman of Yah, listen. This witness, this Besorah, this Torah, this witness, this Besorah, this Torah is what establishes us. Right? We are connected one to another in Hamashiach. We are connected one to another in Hamashiach. We're listening to time. Warnings song by Hezekiah. I don't know who writes this music. Listen, we a body. We are together. We work as one unit effectively for the working of the body of Yahushua Ha'Mashiach in obedience to this witness, and we do it unto the end. Man of Yah, woman of Yah, we the people of the book broadcast is gone down. I don't even know if I said that today. We the people of the book broadcast. It's the Shabbat, but it's gone down. The word of Yahuah has been released in the earth. The Ruach word from the man of Yahuah. We finished Romans, completed the 16th chapter. I'm not sure where we're going from here. I'm going to seek Yahuah, and he's going to tell me. But man of Yah, woman of Yah, that's all we have. Yahuah, I pray right now that the words you've given me to give to them, they would receive them in emunah. For I know that the word is for those who have an ear to hear. And I pray that those who have an ear to hear would receive your word in Ruach and in truth. I trust in your word. In emunah, I believe in the revelation of your word. In emunah, I bring glory and honor and praise to you, Yahuah. And I acknowledge your righteousness in the name of Yahushua Ha'Mashiach. Yahuah, let the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be established, Yahuah, before thee. Yahuah, that you would receive this word, this witness. In the name of Yahushua Ha'Mashiach, I pray. Man of Yah, woman of Yah, listen, we closing it out. This Shabbat, listen. Peace out, unleavened bread. We are worshiping and praising Yahuah, for we have the victory, and that victory is in Yahushua Ha'Mashiach. So with that, I say, man of Yah, called to greatness, woman of Yahuah, called to greatness, beautifully and wonderfully made. Today, Yahuah has favored you. Be established in this witness, be led by the Ruach HaKodesh, declare the Torah of truth, and greet your brothers and sisters and salute them. Acknowledge them, for we are one body, one helpers one to another in this witness. So with that, I say Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, be blessed.
Torah Garden, speaking the absolute truth. Torah Nation.